Hey guys, Sid from Sid's Trains here, and welcome back to the channel. As of late, there's been a lot of debate and discussion about desirable high-end model trains. And whenever high-end model train comes to my mind, I think Lionel Visionline. But Visionline wasn't always the top of the line model. Heck, I think something else created Visionline. I don't think Lionel always had Visionline in mind. I thought they were going to go with something else for a long period of time, but they didn't. But this other line of train, I think, is what led to the creation of Visionline. And this other line was also very state-of-the-art for the time. It was high-end models, tons of new technology, new models for Lionel. Doesn't that sound a lot like Visionline? Well, it came before Visionline. It's the JLC line, the Joshua Lionel Cowan line of model trains from Lionel. This was the Visionline of the past. This line came out in the early 2000s and lasted till the mid-2000s when Lionel got rid of the JLC line. And then a few years later came the Visionline. I think there's a connection here, and I've been running some of my JLC models, and I'm realizing, and I'm connecting the dots as well between the Visionline and the JLC line. I think there's a lot going on here, and I think it's a really interesting topic, and we're going to be checking out all of this here on Sid's Trains. So with all the talk about high-end models as of late, I decided to pull out some of my favorite Lionel high-end articulated steam engines, those being my JLC Challenger, my JLC Allegheny, and my JLC Big Boy. All three of these models are top-of-the-line Lionel models from the past. All of them had new technology in them for the time. They have amazing sounds, and specifically the JLC Big Boy, it introduced brand new technology that was a really big deal for the industry. It introduced legacy and legacy rail sounds, stuff that we kind of take for granted nowadays, but it introduced that technology and the control system itself with the remote and the base. And obviously things have changed over the years. There's new remotes, there's a new app coming out, there's a new base. But that engine introduced new technology, and it was a redo of a Lionel model. Lionel had made the Big Boy before, but the JLC Big Boy was a new tooling, it was super detailed, and it really meant a lot to the hobby. And the same thing with the Challenger and Allegheny. And that just kind of got me thinking, these are high-end models that are full of new technology. They're new to Lionel or redos of former models from Lionel with more detail and more accuracy. And that just sounded very familiar. And I was thinking, that sounds like Visionline. And it basically was. The JLC line was like the Visionline of the past. And funny enough, the JLC Big Boy and JLC Challenger both became Visionline models. The JLC Challenger is one of the most desirable Visionline models out there, and same with the Big Boy. And these three models aren't the only ones that became legacy or Visionline models. The Allegheny became a legacy model, the Y6B became a legacy model, the GG1 became a Visionline product. And then, of course, there's the H7, which also became a legacy model. So the JLC line was the predecessor to Visionline. It was top-of-the-line models, new models for Lionel sometimes, tons of new technology, and overall just quality models. These models really are special. All of the JLC models are what led Lionel to creating their top-of-the-line model that they have nowadays, which is the Visionline. The Visionline wouldn't exist without them. Think about it. If Lionel would not have made the JLC Big Boy, we wouldn't have a Visionline Big Boy. That's like one of the most favorite models of so many people in the industry right now. Same thing with the Challenger. But my favorite of all the JLC models that I have is actually my Allegheny. The JLC Allegheny was just something totally different from Lionel's previous Allegheny. It was full of detail, had amazing sounds, and it just looked so good. I've enhanced mine with black walls on the rims of the wheels and LED lighting. But from the factory, it was still a very nice model. And it went on to become a legacy model that is very desirable as well. Not as desirable as some of the Visionline models, but it really is a popular model. And hopefully Lionel reproduces the Allegheny again sometime soon, because I know there's a lot of people that want a legacy Allegheny again. But in general, this whole idea just came from that the JLC line is almost what created the Visionline. Lionel had an idea to create high-end models that are super detailed and to put new technology in them. But in the early 2000s, Lionel didn't have a ton of new technology. They were only able to go so far with it, and instead they just put as much detail as they could into these models, and they truly are amazing pieces with all the separately applied details. But the JLC Big Boy was really the only model that introduced a ton of new technology. Granted, the JLC GG1 is a very stunning model. It has the automatic pantographs that go up and down, but it was kind of a clunky design and it didn't always work. But the JLC Big Boy introduced legacy, and that truly was a interesting, new, and impactful piece of technology that they introduced. And with all these models, Lionel then would go on to cancel the JLC line and then move on to the Visionline, introducing brand new models that had never been made, introducing new smoke features, new sound features, and animated features like the swinging bell. And I think that's just what's so cool about the JLC line. It is the predecessor. It shows what Lionel was doing, but it wasn't quite there yet. It has some of the older technology, but then you can look at the newer models and see the comparison. It's the same tooling cosmetically for the most part, but it has that newer technology inside. And to me, that's just really cool. As someone with a bit of an engineering background, it's cool to see things progress, things be updated. And of course, it's a historical thing. It's cool to see Lionel progressing through the years and creating nicer, more detailed, and more technologically advanced models. And I think that is truly what the JLC line and the Visionline models are all about. Quality, technologically advanced, and full of tons of details. But enough of me talking. Let's go see these amazing JLC models run around the lake. such amazing engines. All three of these JLC models are amazing pieces. Each of them has amazing sounds, features, and detailing. But as I said before, they were the predecessors to the Visionline. And hopefully someday I'll be able to pick up their Visionline or legacy counterparts, and I hope to pick up more JLC models in the future. But there is something else I want to ask you guys. Do you think the JLC line should have just stuck around? Do you think Visionline is better than the JLC line? Or maybe do you think Lionel should come up with a new line of high-end model trains? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. As always, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications. I thank you all for watching and I hope you enjoyed. I'm Sid, and I'll see you next time, guys.